When Julius Malema is speaking about our fellow African brothers to leave their countries, to come to South Africa, this is what I'm hearing him say. I'm hearing Julius say that leave your countries which are in difficulties, which are in need of bright minds, which are in need of brave men to fight for those countries and develop those countries. But take your skills, come to South Africa, and use your skills to develop South Africa while your countries lie in ruin. And Julius here is being inconsistent. Julius is being consistent in that Julius is a leader of Economic Freedom Fighters. Julius formed Economic Freedom Fighters because he realized that South Africa was in trouble. The majority of black people were landless and did not have any share of the ownership of the economy. So he formed the Economic Freedom Fighters, which is going to give the land back to black South Africans, which is going to give black South Africans equitable ownership of the economy. That's why the EFF wants to nationalize mines. That's why the EFF wants to nationalize banks, so that they could have control over the economy of South Africa. And since black people are the majority in South Africa, then they will be the ones who are really in ownership of the economy of the country. So I'm hearing him contradicting himself. Because if Julius Malema believed that when a person is living in a country that is in ruin, when a person is living in a country that is experiencing difficulty, he should go to a country that he believes that is better, to go there to use his skills to develop that country so that he could have a better life in that country. But he has not done it. He is not doing it, and he's not going to do it. What Julius Malema is doing is completely the opposite of what he's advising other Africans to do. He's advising them to leave their country in ruin, while he doesn't want to leave South Africa in ruin. Julius Malema wants to go down as one of the greatest South Africans of all time. And he's working towards that goal. He's working and fighting to ensure that black South Africans have land, black South Africans have jobs, black South Africans have equitable ownership of the economy. That's what he's doing to fix South Africa. And then he turns around and says that, no, you Nigerians, you don't need to do what I'm doing. Leave your country, come to South Africa, help me develop South Africa while your country lies in ruin. He is saying to the Zimbabweans, leave your country. You don't have to worry about owning land. You don't have to worry about owning the economy. You don't have to worry about nationalizing banks. You don't have to worry about development in Zimbabwe. You have to come to South Africa where you can come and help the EFF develop South Africa while your own countries lie in ruin. So do you see why I'm saying that Julius Malema is first of all misleading Africans and is self-contradictory? If Julius Malema believes that when your country lies in ruin, you must live in and go to live in another country which is better, then he should also leave South Africa and go and live in Canada. Why isn't he doing that? Why isn't Julius Malema leaving South Africa to go and live in Canada or the UK? Julius Malema does go to the UK, but he does go to the UK either maybe to raise funds or to try to get a view of how things are done, and he always comes back to South Africa. He doesn't go to the UK forever. Because Julius Malema believes that as a man, he is responsible for how South Africa is going to turn out. But he's not teaching the same doctrine which he is applying with his own personal life. Because he believes in his own actions, Julius Malema believes that in his country, if there are problems, him as a man, just like Flash Wambo, him as a man, just like Ndlozi as a man. So these three men believe that South Africa is in trouble. Them, as men, they must stand up and fight for their country. They must stand up and fight for the needs of their people. They must stand up and represent the interest of their people in parliament. But he is not saying to our fellow brothers and sisters of Africa, saying that also you must do the same thing. If you love the education that's being offered in South Africa, come to South Africa. Study in South Africa, but take the skills that you take from South Africa, go and apply them in the development of your own countries. What our fellow brothers and sisters in Africa must be saying that Julius Malema must teach them how to politically organize. He must teach them how to develop political parties. He must teach them how to listen to their people so that they could represent their interests in parliament. Because that is what Julius Malema has done. That is what Julius Malema has achieved. But they are happy that he wants them to come to South Africa. Because me, when I look at the CEO of Google being Indian, when I look at all these Indians being the CEO of the major tech companies in America, I realize that with these Indians who are in America occupying high positions in high-tech companies in South Africa, if they were to go back to India, India was going to be propelled, was going to be the third largest economy in the world, and was going to be able to fight with China because at the end of the day, India and China have more or less the same population. But these Indians are taking their skills and developing America. These Indians are taking their skills and making sure that the skills in America remains at the top while Indians need them, and they have abandoned India. And that is what Julius Malema is encouraging Zimbabweans, Nigerians, Mozambicans to do to their own countries. To come to South Africa, either for a skill or develop a skill in South Africa, but apply those skills in South Africa, where South Africa will always be the most developed country in Africa because all Africans want to live in South Africa. If Nigerians want to leave Nigeria to come and live in South Africa, who do they think is supposed to develop Nigeria? Who do they think that the interest of Nigerians is going to be represented by? Whom do they think should represent the interest of Nigeria in the Nigerian parliament? If you leave Zimbabwe to come and work in South Africa to help South Africa develop, who do you think that the interests of Zimbabweans should be represented by in Zimbabwean parliament? So you should not listen to what the man is saying. You should look at what the man is doing. Because the man will always do what he believes is correct. He can say whatever, but at the end of the day, in his action, he is going to represent exactly what he really believes. That's what the Bible says, that you shall know them by their fruit. Meaning that you will know each and every person by what they produce. And currently, Julius Malema is trying to produce a developed South Africa where the black majority has the ownership of the majority of the economy. He wants to develop a South Africa where the land, the black majority, own the majority of the land. He doesn't go to Canada. He doesn't even go to the UK because they are better countries than South Africa. He wants that betterness that he believes that he's supposed to live in. He wants to bring it himself. So naturally, Africans, our fellow brothers in Africa, must study Julius Malema and see that this guy did not leave his country. This guy did not leave South Africa and go to greener pastures. This guy formed a political party where he's going to make South Africa the way that he wants it to be. This guy has taken responsibility and said that the bad things in South Africa, which he does not like, as a man, he's going to fix. So all Africans must study Malema like that. They shouldn't listen to what he's saying. They should be doing exactly what he's doing. And what he's doing is that he's spending his energy and time trying to make South Africa better. Africans from Zimbabwe, from Nigeria, from Mozambique, from Malawi, and wherever, they must also spend their time and energy trying to make their countries better. Because it is going to be a bad thing when South Africa is the most developed country and all other people must come to South Africa, they leave South Africa because South Africa is better. What about those people who don't have the money to come and live in South Africa? Who's going to help them? What about those people who are too poor to come and study in South Africa? Who's going to teach them? Shouldn't Nigerians, Zimbabweans, Malawians come and use the resources of South Africa so that they could have skills, so that they could have knowledge, but go back to their country so they could develop it? A man cannot emigrate to greener pastures, because if he leaves his country to go to greener pastures, who does he think is supposed to make his country greener, if not him? And Julius Malema is doing exactly that. He's trying to make South Africa greener. And each and every countryman in Africa must be thinking that all the males are responsible for making their countries greener. And if they need to go to other countries, they must go to other countries to get skill, to learn how to organize, to learn how to form organizations. But they must take those skills and knowledge and go back to their countries so that they could implement them. And that is why I believe that Julius Malema is misleading Africans, and he's also contradicting himself. And because of that, his integrity must come into question.